Hey, hello friends. Today I am going to discuss about cell. Cell is very vital and important topic for all the organisms. So let's start. Every organism consists of cell. Cell is structural and functional unit of life. Say, suppose you are sitting inside in a house, and that house consists of brick. So structural unit of that house or building is brick. Like the same way, every organism consists of cell. So we can tell structural and fundamental unit of life is known as cell, and this cell usually surrounded by cytoplasmic membrane. You can tell cytoplasmic membrane or cell membrane is the outer part of the cell, and within the cell there is a fluid part. So this is how cell looks like. See, this is the structure of animal cell. This is one animal cell. Okay, this is structural cell and animal cell, and this outer part of the animal cell is plasma membrane. Within the plasma membrane, cytoplasm or protoplasm is there, and number of cellular organelle is present within the cell. It can be nucleus, it can be endoplasmic reticulum, it can be ribosome, it can be centrosome, it can be lysosome, etc. Okay, and this cell, what's the meaning of cell? Cell is it's a Latin word, and the meaning of this Latin word is little room. Every organism consists of cell, but there is one exception, that is nothing but a virus. Okay, virus is acellular. That means proper cellular constructions we cannot get in virus. Virus usually consists of two major things. One is nucleic acid and another is protein. Okay, and example of virus: HIV virus, influenza virus, so many viruses are there. So now again I will talk about the cell. So who discovered cell? Discoverer of cell was Robert Hooke. This personality discovered cell on 1665. What he did, he took a slice of cork and placed it under the microscope, and he observed little teeny compartment. He gave the name of those teeny compartment was cell. He took the slice from a cork, and that cork was made up of bark. So that bark means that means that was dead cell. So discoverer of dead cell was Robert Hooke. I will talk about another personality, that is the Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. He was discovered living cell. What he did, he took little pond water and placed it under the microscope. He observed something was moving under the microscope, and he gave the name of that moving particle was animalcule, and that animalcule was nothing but a bacteria. So he is the personality known as father of microbiology as well as bacteriology, and he discovered living cell. As I told you, cell is very tiny particle. You cannot observe cell under naked eye, so we need instrument. That instrument is nothing but a microscope. Various number of microscope is there in the market: simple microscope, compound microscope, electron microscope. Simple microscope is nothing but a convex lens. Compound microscope also various number of lenses we are using, and that lenses we are using for magnifying the image. This is the compound microscope, and this compound microscope we are using in the laboratory, and this is the microscope discovered by Robert Hooke. The person discovered cell. Robert Hooke discovered that compound microscope, and he discovered cell too, and simple microscope discovered by this personality, Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. Nowadays very advanced one is electron microscope. Electron microscope, instead of using lens, we are using here, that is the beam of electron, and this microscope discovered by Knoll and Ruska on 1931, and with the help of electron microscope we can observe virus. As I told you, virus is acellular particle, that means proper cellular constructions is not there in virus, and it's very small things, that's what we cannot observe this virus under compound microscope. This microscope we have to use virus, we have to use electron microscope. As I showed you, that is the structure of animal cell. This is the structure of animal cell, and the outermost part of animal cell is plasma membrane. This plasma membrane is very small thing. Cell itself is a small thing, we cannot observe under naked eye. We have to take microscope, and this is the plasma membrane is the part of cell, means it's very teeny. So with the help of electron microscope we can observe the structure of cell membrane in we can observe the structure of cell membrane under electron microscope. Okay, so apart from virus, we can observe structure of cell membrane under electron microscope. Various kind of cells are present in organisms, that if the organism is huge, means it consists of a number of cells, that means that organisms is multicellular, and if the organisms is small, it can consist of a single cell, that means unicellular. So according to the number of cell, we can divide cell into two types, that is the unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular and multicellular. All the huge organisms are multicellular, like plant, like animal. But if we are talking about unicellular organisms, unicellular means very small, like bacteria. Bacteria consist of single cell, amoeba, yeast, these all are unicellular. So this is the division of cell according to the number. Now according to the structure also, cell we can divide cells. Cells are majorly two types. Cells are two types. One is prokaryotic cell according to the structure, prokaryotic cell, and eukaryotic cell. Carry on meaning nucleus, and nucleus is the one of the most important cellular membrane bound cellular organelles. This is the nucleus. This is the huge but dense particle or dense cellular organelles, and here within the nucleus DNA is present, so that it's very important cellular organelle. According to the presence of nucleus, we can divide cell into two types, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell is the most primitive one, and they do not have well organized nucleus. Do not have well organized nucleus. Well organized nucleus. But eukaryotic cell means most advanced or modern type cell, and this kind of cell consists of well organized nucleus. Well organized nucleus. Prokaryotic cell do not have well organized nucleus. What's the meaning of well organized nucleus? Actually, the nucleus is the most heaviest or dense part of the cell, and this within the nucleus DNA is present, and 4 major part is there in well constructed nucleus. That parts are nucleolus, nucleoplasm, nuclear envelope or nuclear membrane, and chromatin. This is the 4 part: chromatin, nucleolus, nucleoplasm, nuclear envelope, and this is the well constructed nucleus. Why? Because all the 4 parts are available in this nucleus, and such kind of nucleus present in all eukaryotic cell, not in prokaryotic cell. Such kind of nucleus we can get in eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell, that means animal cells and in plant cell, plant and animal cell. But such kind of nucleus we cannot get in prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic, pro means the primitive one, primitive cells. So such kind of nucleus, well organized cells we cannot get in the prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell, the DNA of prokaryotic cell usually present in the cytoplasm, and there is no structure of nucleus. Okay, and DNA of prokaryotic cell is known as nucleoid. And example of prokaryotic cell is bacteria. Okay, bacterial DNA is known as nucleoid. First I will give the example of prokaryotic cell. So example is the bacteria. Apart from bacteria, mycoplasma is there. Mycoplasma is also kind of bacteria, but they do not have cell wall. Do not have cell wall. Do not have cell wall. And apart from bacteria, there is blue green algae. Blue green algae also made up of prokaryotic cell. Blue green algae means we are talking about cyanobacteria. 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 Why blue green algae known as cyanobacteria? Because blue green algae consists of prokaryotic cell. And now I will talk about the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. First, bacteria. I will talk about prokaryotic cell, that is nothing but a bacteria. Bacterial DNA usually present in the cytoplasm. There is no nucleus, and in case of eukaryotic cell like this animal cell, the DNA present within the nucleus. Okay, and in case of bacterial cell, DNA usually floating in the cytoplasm. Naked DNA present within the bacteria. So first I will describe about the structure of bacteria. So most outer part of bacteria is cell wall, and after cell wall, cytoplasmic membrane or plasma membrane is present, and within the plasma membrane there is cytoplasm. In cytoplasm, DNA or nucleoid is there. Nucleoid is nothing but a bacterial DNA, and apart from bacterial DNA, there is another extracellular DNA that is known as plasmid. Okay, plasmid and DNA you both can get in bacterial cell. Apart from this, they have ribosome. Ribosome is a membraneless cellular organelles, and in case of prokaryotic cell, this ribosome is 70S type. Okay, 70S type. So if we are talking about bacteria, bacterial main genetic material is DNA. Okay, bacteria. If we are talking about bacteria, bacterial main genetic material is DNA. Okay, so two types of DNA we get. One is nucleoid. Nucleoid is the major huge DNA that is floating in the cytoplasm. And why it's known as nucleoid? Because sometimes it's make and form a flower like structure, that's what is known as nucleoid. Okay, and this is the DNA part and this is the RNA part. And another thing is there, apart from this long huge DNA, they have plasmid. Plasmid is extra chromosomal double stranded double stranded DNA, that is plasmid. Okay, and apart from this plasmid, they have locomotory agent, that is flagellum or flagella. So this is all about bacteria. Another example of prokaryote is mycoplasma. As I told you, mycoplasma itself is a bacteria, but they do not have cell wall. All the bacteria have cell wall apart from mycoplasma. And major cellular component of bacterial cell wall is peptidoglycan. This peptidoglycan is a protein, and peptidoglycan consists of protein and glycan means sugar. Okay, peptidoglycan is the most structural cell wall component of bacteria. Next, I will discuss about the eukaryotic cell. So, eukaryotic cells, there are two types of eukaryotic cells. The cells which have well organized nucleus. We are talking about well organized nucleus means nucleus consists of this four part. So, this kind of nucleus you will get in the eukaryotic cell. So, eukaryotic cell, animal cell is there, plant cell is there. First, I will talk about animal cell. Most outer region or outer part of animal cell is cell membrane. Okay, and if we are talking about most outer part of plant cell is cell wall. Inside in the cell wall, they have cell membrane. Means I am talking about plant cell. Inside in the cell wall of plant cell membrane is present. So, cell membrane is present in both type of eukaryotic cell. Okay. Now, I will discuss about animal cell again. So, apart from cell membrane, they have cytoplasm. Cytoplasm means fluid part of the cell. In the cytoplasm, there is nucleus, there is endoplasmic reticulum, there is mitochondria, there is vacuole, there is Golgi apparatus, there is ribosome. Okay. So, if we are talking this, all the cellular organelle you can find in plant cell too. Endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, next vacuole, next that ribosome, next nucleus. These all things are common for both, but there is some difference. As I told you about cell wall is present only in the plant cell, but cell wall is absent in animal cell. There are some other cellular organelle which you cannot find in plant cell, and there are some cellular organelles which you cannot find in animal cell. So, first I will talk about animal cell. Centrosome. Centrosome is the cellular organelles which you can get only in the animal cell, not in the plant cell. Okay. Next, lysosome. Lysosome is also present in the animal cell, not in plant cell. Golgi apparatus is present in animal cells, well organized Golgi apparatus present in animal cell. Plant cell have Golgi apparatus, but they have different constructions. Why? Because but they do not have the complete structure of Golgi apparatus. So, Golgi apparatus which is present in the plant cell is known as dictyosome. Okay, we are not calling them as Golgi apparatus, we are calling them as dictyosome. Golgi apparatus present in plant cell is known as dictyosome. Okay. Now, but this is all about the animal cell, and now again I will talk about plant cell. Plant cell having another cellular organelle, that is plastid. There are various type of plastid are there in plant cell: chloroplast, chromoplast, leucoplast. This is the chloroplast. Chloroplast is the type of plastid which consists of chlorophyll and presence of, because chlorophyll is a photosynthetic pigment. That's what plant can make their own food. Apart from chloroplast or plastid, they have peroxisome. Peroxisome is another cellular organelle which you can get in plant cell but not in animal cell. So these all are about the animal cell and plant cell. There is some basics different, though both of them have well organized nucleus. Okay, there is some difference in vacuole too, though vacuole present in both cellular organelles, but in case of animal cell, they have little small vacuole, as you can find out, small vacuole. And if we will observe the plant cell vacuole, it's very huge. Okay, it's very huge vacuole. Vacuole is very huge. Okay, that animal cell vacuole is very small. So this all are the difference you can get from this chart, all the differences. If you want, you can pause the video and you can take the image. Next I will discuss about another important term, that is the cell theory. Cell theory, the another important thing which you have to read. Cell theory means theory of cell, which discovered by Schleiden and so on. Okay, Schleiden and so on, and they told the very basic things of life. They told all the organisms composed of cells. That organism may can composed of one cells or more than one cells. Cells are the basic unit of life. As I told you, structural and fundamental unit of life is cell. That thing they told. Okay, they told in their cell theory. All cells arise from the pre-existing cell. That is the another important thing. So all of the things included in cell theory. Now I will talk about human body. Various types of cells you can get in human body: stem cell, bone cell, blood cell, muscle cell, fat cell, skin cell, nerve cell, endothelial cell, sex cell, pancreatic cell, cancer cell, etc. I showed you the picture, that is the animal cells picture, that is the structural cell. But apart from structural cell, various kind of cells also are present inside in our body. Among them, nerve cell is the most longest one. Nerve cell is the most longest cell which is present inside in our body. If we are talking about only animal cell, not the human body cells, then the largest cell is ostrich egg, and the smallest cell, as I told you about mycoplasma, that is the unicellular bacteria, that is the most smallest cell. Smallest cell is mycoplasma. Okay, this mycoplasma is also known as PPLO. PPLO is pleuropneumonia like organism. Pleuropneumonia like organisms, why it's known as pleuropneumonia like organisms, I'll describe now. Actually, these organisms discovered in a cattle body who was suffering from pneumonia, but when they taste the blood of that particular cattle, they got mycoplasma, not the Diplococcus pneumoniae. There was some structural difference. So firstly, they gave the name of mycoplasma was PPLO, that is pleuropneumonia like organisms, and afterwards they gave the particular name, that is the mycoplasma. Okay, now I'll discuss about the structure of cell. Cell usually consists of outer membrane, protoplasm and cellular organelles. So today I will going to discuss about the cell membrane. Cell membrane, the most outer part of the cell of animal, not in plant cell. In plant cell membrane is also present, but within the cell wall, cell membrane usually present. So a plant, animal, bacteria, fungi, algae, protozoa, all of them have cell membrane. What is cell membrane? Cell membrane is a semi-permeable flexible structure that is composed of protein, lipid and carbohydrate. Protein, lipid and carbohydrate. Protein content is 40%. Protein content is 50%, lipid content is 40% and carbohydrate content is 10%. So cell membrane usually consists of protein, lipid and carbohydrate, and it's a very thin, semi-permeable, flexible in nature. It enclosed, it surrounded it enclosed the protoplasm or cytoplasm. Protoplasm or cytoplasm, it's nothing but a fluid part. So this is the structure of cell membrane. Cell membrane is various model of cell membrane is there in market, but fluid mosaic model is most accepted one. Fluid mosaic model was discovered by Singer and Nicholson. Okay. This, according to Singer and Nicholson, this cell membrane consists of protein and phospholipid bilayer. The most major constituent of cell membrane is phospholipid. The phosphate group present in the outer part and the lipid group present within that, and the lipid region is hydrophobic region, and the phosphate group is hydrophilic. Part. So apart from this phospholipid bilayer, cell membrane have cholesterol, several carbohydrates, etc. and proteins. There are two types of protein present in cell membrane. One is that is the transmembrane glycoprotein. Okay, protein mixed with sugar and create the glycoprotein, but that this transmembrane glycoprotein usually buried inside into the phospholipid bilayer, and a peripheral protein loosely attached in the peripheral site of cell membrane. This transmembrane region usually create the pore. That is, pore is nothing but a hole, and within the hole, but with that hole, some selected molecules and ion can enter inside into the cell. This nature of cell membrane is selectively permeable. Selectively permeable, and another term is also applicable for cell membrane, that is semi permeable. So selectively permeable means cell membrane select few ions and molecules to enter inside into the cell, and semi permeable means sometimes they prevent the enter of solid particles and they allowing only fluid particles. So two terms are there in case of fluid mosaic model of cell membrane. One is selectively permeable, that means allowing selected particles and ions, and another semi permeable, means allowing fluid particle. Allowing fluid particle to enter inside into the cell. Major function of cell membrane is giving protection to the inside cellular organelle. As you can observe, in case of animal cells and plant cell, within the cytoplasmic membrane, number of cellular organelles and cytoplasm is present. Okay. So giving protection is the one of the major functions of cell membrane. Apart from giving protections, as I told you, selectively permeable means they can select a few ingredient or few substances, ions, to enter inside into the cell. Apart from selective nature, protective nature, they also allow few organisms to uptake their own food. Okay, but with the help of endocytosis. Endocytosis is the process through which some organisms can uptake their food. That food can be solid or can be liquid. Apart from endocytosis, they help in diffusions and osmosis too. They function as mechanical barrier too. So this is all about cell membrane. Cell membrane also help in transportations, means transportations of oxygen, carbon dioxide, transportations of some other fluid particle. Active transport and passive transport, two important term is also there for transportations. Active transport means we are talking about energy dependent transport, and passive transport means energy independent they are passive transport do not occur with the help of ATP. Okay, so passive transport means we are talking about osmosis and diffusions. As I told you, cell membrane helps in osmosis and diffusions. With the help of diffusions, they can diffuse number of gaseous element, and with the help of osmosis, they can allow some fluid particle to enter inside into the cell. So osmosis and diffusions is very important things. I will tell about all the transportations method and solutions in your next class. I think today whatever I told, that will help in your examinations. Thank you so much.